Blog Talk Radio.
Gentlemen, welcome to the realm of the truly bizarre.
A guy in this town has got one 12 inches long. If you like one that size, something must be wrong. That's too much weenie for a bun to take, and you're bound to end up with the belly. Ha!
Hello, Queen. I'm the cute one.
Yeah. What's getting naked?
My, it's a big one.
What's going on in there?
Let's just say I take up a lot of cyberspace.
Yeah, we're taking up that cyberspace once again here on another Friday evening. Nice, cool fall weather outside. Oh, I wish I had a tent that was able to go out in the middle of the woods somewhere and pitch a tent. And actually, I wish I could pitch a tent regardless of where I'm at. But that's neither here nor there. Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, tonight's episode, Addictions, Habits, and Attachments. I don't remember who came up with this one, but okay, we're going to tackle it anyways. If you want to give us a call and weigh in on this topic, you're welcome to do so at 347-945-7065. That's our live call-in line, or you can join us in the chat room on Blog Talk Radio/Wolfbytes. So let's see, which one we want to try and do first? Addictions, habits, or attachments?
You're the host, pick.
What do you think? We're co-hosts.
Co-host has a point of where we pick out stuff we actually agree on. I'm actually just saying go with it, host, and try to start it off.
Lovely.
Because you're supposed to be the leader.
Let's follow my leader then. Okay, then. Addictions. We all know the general topmost that most people know about. Get addiction to smoking, addiction to alcohol, addiction to lying, also known as pathological liars. And actually, just about anything that could be addicting to something could be considered a pathology. So I guess if it's anything's a pathological, anything is an addiction. So, but how about? Damn it! Now I've had a total blonde moment. There was an addiction I was wanting to talk about, and now I can't remember it. It was the one of the newest addictions, though, would be like Facebook. No comment?
It's like, technically, Facebook, technically you can be addicted to anything or everything. It's just now what you're addicted to. And the whole thing, when people say you're addicted to it, that means you go to it all the time. It don't mean that it's actually... And then here's the whole thing. If you abuse something, it will abuse you. Addiction, you're abusing the thing, so it's going to abuse your mind somehow. Or your body.
David, you're the resident Facebook addict. Your comments?
Well, I have more than just that addiction. Yes, I do have quite a bit, but I'm going to keep that to myself and not let y'all know.
Yeah. Okay, now what would be the difference between an addiction and a habit?
Oh, the whole thing with
people say you got a smoking habit, but when it's really an addiction.
Oh, the whole thing
you have a drinking habit.
Well, the whole thing with a habit and an addiction is the whole thing is where a habit is, okay, you do this once in a blue moon, and it's okay. Addiction is when you're constantly doing it. A habit is something you just do naturally. You don't really think about it. Well, addiction is something you actually do think about because you actually think about it all the time.
Right.
Okay.
That's the difference in between both of them.
Okay, David.
Where a habit is actually an okay thing, where a addiction is not.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's an okay thing all the time.
Yeah,
you can have bad habits. If it's a bad habit, that generally means it's not okay. David?
I would have to say that a habit is, like Daniel had said, you do it, but you don't really think too much about it. But when you are addicted to something, you think about it constantly, and you constantly go to it over and over and over again, all day long, all night long. You just can't get away from it.
Okay, so you're saying a habit is more like an autonomic thing, where you do it without actually thinking about doing it. You don't realize that you're doing it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about attachments? Would those be considered habits or addictions?
You can,
Go, David.
There's still the fine line of what you're attached to. Like if you there are attachments other than your habits or addictions. Like there are inanimate objects or animate objects or pets or whatever you have an attachment to. You do not and cannot get rid of this object.
Okay. So would attachment be good or bad?
If it was a question for me, I did not hear it.
Would attachments be good or bad?
Attachment being good or bad. It actually matters what kind of attachment do you have. If it's just an attachment that you have to something that you know you don't need and you're just basically holding on to it because it's basically the last thing you can remember, then you might have some problems. Some attachments are good and some attachments are just really bad.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, we lost you lost connection there. What I was asking is, would you consider attachments good or bad?
Well, yes and no. It just depends upon what you're attached to. Like,
example.
I know a woman who had her pet canary stuffed because she did not want to be without it.
Okay.
And I know of another couple that I saw on TV not too long ago. They stuffed their pet rabbits, and they had 20-something rabbits stuck in their freezer.
Maybe they're just planning on having a big Hassenpfeffer buffet.
So, like I said, it can be bad. It just depends what you're attached to.
Okay.
It's like me. If you're attached to an old memory of someone, it's like, here's the whole thing. When some people... yeah, it's kind of like one of them things where it's like, someone actually passes away or a friend accidentally dies or something comes up in your life and takes someone away from you. Well, the whole thing is, that person loved you for who you are, supported you who you was. If not, then I don't guess they actually cared for you that much. But here's the whole thing. You do not let that bog you down. Yes, it is hard to get over people, That's the reason why a lot of people create attachments to things, because they hold on to things, because it reminds them of things. Where you should let go and understand, people pass every single day. Everyone is losing someone every single 10 years. You're going to have loss no matter who you are and where you are. One day in time, someone will miss you as well.
So when your husband passes away and you have him stuffed and mounted to where he can sit in the living room all the time, have him seated in his favorite chair for all eternity, that would be a bad attachment?
Well, technically, if you have him stuffed and he's actually in the room, that's actually a attachment where it can get a little weird.
Just a little?
Oh, no. Okay, let me be really honest here. It's really, 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 really weird.
Yeah, especially when you have guests come over.
Oh, yeah, I'd be like, who's that? Oh, was this my dead husband? This is my new husband. It's like, damn, you cold.
Yeah. That's the person Janet Jackson was singing about. It's so hard it gets.
It doesn't kill you, makes you stronger.
Yes, that which does not kill us is stronger.
Yeah, that's what Tyler said.
And that's he was severely scarred as well. Any other addictions, habits, or attachments that either one of you want to talk about?
Lord,
David. Okay, well, I've got something that I'd like to ask.
Okay.
What's the difference between addiction and fetish?
Between addiction and fetish?
Fetish.
Fetishes are generally done for sexual enjoyment, and I wouldn't really
Not
consider.
necessarily. Not all fetishes are sexual.
I've never heard of a fetish that was not sexually related.
Well, like me, you can actually have a fetish with certain items that you like to require, and you might love them to death. Like, you might be obsessed with certain things that's a little weird, but here's the whole thing. Everyone has their little kink in them where it's like you might love things a little too much than everyone else, where it's basically almost a fetish, but it's not. Because usually when you classify it as a fetish, it can usually relate to most people's minds as sexual. Where me, I like office supplies like crazy, but that doesn't mean I have a fetish for office supplies.
I wouldn't call that a fetish. I'd call that odd.
Yeah.
But in general, fetishes are sexually related. And just like with baby furs and their fetishes for diapers and stuff.
Well, what about obsession?
That what? What did you say, David?
You said obsession.
Well, lost him again. Hang on. We'll call back in a second. I didn't catch what he said.
Well, he said obsession, where you obsess over something to the point where you don't really have it.
Obsessed.
Yeah. And Tyler says a fetish is something you will like sexually, but it's not like you need it to live. And addiction is psychotic. Yeah, psychological. Thank you, Dallas. Your brain makes you think you need it.
You really don't, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So Tyler's listening?
Yeah, Tyler's actually listening.
Yay! Hi, Tyler. Okay. Now, what did you say, David? Because before you lost it.
Well, what about obsession?
Okay, you broke up again.
Assassins.
we all have an obsession over something.
Okay, yeah, obsession. That's what David thought, or Daniel thought you said. Yeah, I mean, you can be obsessed about something, and even obsessions can become bad addictions. I mean, especially if you obsess over a person, it can be very, very unhealthy. And we've down to just under 15 minutes left. Our call-in line number is 347-945-7065. We're talking about addictions, habits, and attachments. And now we've added obsessions to that list.
Apparently.
I guess the only obsession that wouldn't be bad would be the perfume.
Well, that's true. The only one.
Personally, I don't think it smells all that great, but that's just me.
Only me. Everyone goes through assessing.
Yeah, everybody obsesses over something, be it obsessing over their paychecks, obsessing over their grade. If you're in school, obsessing over your grades. You know, obsessions can actually be good because they can help drive you. It just depends on on what obsession you focus on and how you focus it.
Yep.
I mean, if you obsess over people, that can land you in prison. You know, then you can generally get classified as a stalker. What else?
I could always add the 2 cents of Tyler. What he says, obsessions are emotional obsessions is something you crave, but you can't overcome it. Addictions are quite a bit harder to overcome. La 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 la. I just want to talk about chocolate addiction now, please.
But addictions can be overcome with treatment.
Yeah, but now he just wants to talk about. But he apparently wants to talk about chocolate addictions.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a chocoholic.
Yes. Like that.
What?
How dare you talk about chocoholics like that?
Hey, I didn't say anything bad about chocoholics. I'm a chocoholic.
I don't actually agree that people should be. Well, I mean, it's okay to have chocolate, but having too much chocolate is just ridiculous.
Well, I mean, think about it this way. Chocolate is derived from the cocoa bean, which comes from a plant. Therefore, this Hershey's bar is a salad.
Yeah, okay. You go to my store, you can buy a cocoa bean little candy bar. It comes in a square. It's made out of pure chocolate, pure coconut, and it's for $1 at Earth Fair, and it's only like 12 ounces.
Yeah, it's a salad.
But it actually does wonders. It actually does wonders since it says for energy to boost you.
Well, chocolate, I mean to say it's somewhat aphrodisiac.
Yes, it is. It's also one of nature's antidepressants.
Oh.
It is. It gives the user the euphoria of being in love.
Well, it boosts the it increases your dopamine levels. Not necessarily a sensation of love, but it increases your dopamine levels so that you feel good. Why do you think they used chocolate in Harry Potter every time the Dementors came around?
Another for a long period of time that we have addicted to has been caffeine or coffee.
Yeah, coffee actually has they squeeze out cocoa beans taken from lemur poo.
Hey, leave my coffee alone.
I'll tell you, that was from Tyler. That was from Tyler, and I kind of just said it out loud. And he said it was true.
Tyler needs to be careful, or Donovan and I are both going to come down on him. Don't mess with our coffee.
Behave. We are supposed to be nice to our fans.
How about? I'm just playing.
I know.
What about the? Oh crap! What are we calling it? Addiction to acceptance? Yeah, how's our Wednesday night Bible study phrase? It's the addiction.
It's addiction, acceptance of others.
Addiction to acceptance. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You're the one who wrote
Something
Bible notes and actually typed them out, so you should know more than me.
They're on the other computer. So, but yeah, people are actually addicted to. And we've lost David again. Addicted to being accepted, and they will do anything to be accepted.
Oh, here's what I want.
About themselves. They worry too much about what other people think rather than on themselves.
And this is what irritates me mostly nowadays generation. People saying marijuana does not hurt you, is not addictive, is not this. Anything can be addictive. Be correctly.
Yeah,
anything can be a habit. It's just true. Right. Where people say it's not addicting. Oh, the medical society diagnosed it 2 months ago as addicting. Oh, here's the whole thing. It is addicting. And it does hurt you. It doesn't physically hurt you. It mentally hurts you in long term.
Yeah, but here's the other shoe. Unlike with tobacco, which contains tar, which clogs up your lungs, pot does not have that. And unlike with alcohol, unlike with alcohol and tobacco, nobody has ever died from smoking marijuana.
But here's the whole thing. Alcohol, smoking tobacco, and just smoking regular tobacco, not the damn fucking filtered tar crap that comes from a company. Be real here. If we actually just smoked things like it was meant to be smoked correctly, it would not actually harm anybody. Whole thing with drinking.
Well, there's also better ways to get the medicinal effects of marijuana other than smoking it.
Yeah.
Give me some magic brownies any day.
There's, I think that's about it. The only thing is ingesting it. That's it.
Marijuana hurts you, but so does McChicken's. Case closed.
Marijuana
Nick, anything does.
If it's used in the correct manner, no, it does not.
It actually does in long term if you're actually not using it correctly. If you're using it like the Native Americans are using it, just a celebration once every 3 months, you're doing it okay. You're not actually having an addiction, a craving, or having a habit, a bad habit.
You're thinking of peyote, not marijuana.
Well, I'm just saying in general, it's like someone who drinks alcohol every single day of their life. It hurts them. Or a person that drinks it once in a blue moon does not actually get affected in long term.
Unless they have the mental, the genetic disposition to become an alcoholic. Then one drink is one drink too many.
Okay, that conversation can go into a lot of terms, and it can be challenged on multiple levels there.
An alcoholic has no control over it. They may go their whole life without ever tasting a drink and be fine, but as soon as they take that first drink, that first drink becomes a second drink, it becomes a third drink. They can't stop themselves. That's the whole point of alcoholism.
Yeah, it's actually that's a different. We should not discuss alcoholism. That could be a different episode because that technically is going through a lot of levels and a lot of stages, and it can touch home to a lot of people. Because like me, it's like, oh, you take some things here and there. I could tell you after I take one drink, I should be drinking more than necessary.
Oh, perfect.
But oh well.
Perfect.
But I've actually drunk only here and there, so yeah.
January 2nd, the day after New Year's Day, one of the most alcoholic days of the year, we will talk about alcoholism.
Wow. So perfect.
All right, so that's now on the schedule. That's got us filled out through the end of the year. So, and don't forget. Okay, we got 4.5 minutes, so time to start the wrap up here. Everybody, don't forget that December 12th will be our first Q&A show. You, the listener, get to ask us, the hosts, various questions, and we have to answer them. Just remember to say who you're asking the question of, or if it's just a general question. But send those questions to wolf.bytes2014@gmail.com. And we will get to those on December 12th. If there's more than
listening, and if everyone that is listening that can participate, if the host or co-host could share with other co-hosts the questions, that would be great.
No, we're all going to get them cold.
Okay.
And then upcoming episode. Next Friday, we'll be talking about juvenile justice or injustice, as the case may be. Then followed by the environment, religion,
yay,
fursuiting, silk, fur cons, Dairy Queens, and no, I'm not talking about the blizzard either. HIV/AIDS, various other fandoms. Then our Q&A. Then on December 19th will be Stupid People 2.0.
Really?
Yeah. Then December 26th we'll have our year in review, which will pretty much cover things that stood out in 2014. And then the day after New Year's, on January 2nd, we'll talk about alcoholism. And that pretty much fills us out for the next few months, the rest of the year. So.
Don't ask questions while you're drunk.
Oh, sometimes those can be some of the best questions there is. They can be the most fun. And yes, they don't have to be serious questions. They can be total off the wall, yanking or chains, whatever. Okay. Anything you want to know.
Unfortunately, don't ask anything.
Huh? Don't ask, don't tell.
Wow. But if they ask and we tell them out loud, this is recorded, they can keep replaying it over and over. That policy don't apply here.
I am hoping that we get lots of questions, and of course, if we get more questions than we have time for, then anything left over will be held over for another episode. I'd like to maybe do the Q&A quarterly, maybe, or something. So.
Long live the king.
The king is dead. Long live the king.
Long live the queen, then. Damn.
Hello, queen. Actually, Daniel's the cute one in this group, but.
Oh, wow.
Well, you are. Of the three of us, you are definitely the cutest. And there's no way you can argue. So, all right. That pretty much does it for us for another week. David's lost connection again. So. Yes. So it's just me and Daniel saying toodle pips, bye-bye. Cheerio.
David actually says good night, and I say good night as well.
Good night, sweetheart. Good night. Bye.
Bye.